It's going.
Here's Mike.
Hey, Chris, how you doing? How you doing?
So, good to meet you. I'm Tom. I'm Chris. David. David.
Eli.
Eli.
Tyler.
Tyler.
Good to meet you, Chris.
All right.
Ooh, watch your step.
Well, we share your concerns about homelessness, and one of the things, it's not abstract for us. Homeless use our water.
Yeah, and your free pantry up there.
And,
Absolutely.
Use our outdoor thing to charge cell phones, and we are very active in trying to come up with creative ways to address homelessness. I think these woods, this has been a safe place. Well, even not even that far away, and indeed the doorway. So it's not abstract or distant, something we deal with on a daily basis. I have a career in mental health, and I know one of the things is the total disintegration of the public mental health system. And when I drive to work, I'll often see 3 or 4 mentally ill people publicly on my way in. And so, I mean, just with outward and visible symptoms. And so we've got a problem not only on the local level, but on the county level and on the state level.
Absolutely.
And so we also have, we have SEMA Sing here and India Kincannon. So
That's
we
right.
have room for dialogue about the best way forward. And I'm friends with Amelia, who's also, and so there are lots of,
it was actually India Kincannon admonishing Seema Singh using your sermon about one of her votes that inspired this protest. She told Seema, remember the lesson from this past Sunday that perfection should not be the enemy of the good. I misquoted it or whatever. Perfection. And she told Seema, so if you're thinking about voting against this measure, remember the sermon you had.
Yeah.
So, and she talks about her church membership all the time. So I think the issue that we have is that she is using the name and the good works of your church. You do have compassion for the homeless. You've provided some services for them, right?
Yeah.
You've done what you can. And she uses that to say that she's doing it as well. And she is not. She's not.
Yeah.
She says we have adequate shelter. Carm, Salvation Army are not full sometimes, but we have hundreds of people camping meters away from there, real close by. Now, and I've been in those camps, and I've had them sleep in my yard. And let me tell you what's down there. There's 25% who came into it with addiction and mental illness, and there's 75% of people who are gaining mental illness every day. Because that's what homeless does.
That's right.
It destroys your mind when you have no place to go home to. And the mayor says it's good enough, and she sends her police down there, and she clears them out, and she destroys their property. And if you've read our letter, you know that the Supreme Court has already made rulings on this. She's breaking the law. We're asking her church to say, follow our principles, stand up for what's right, or get our name out your mouth.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that we do here is I've had the chairman of the Democrats, and I've had the Republican county commissioner. And so here's a place where I can speak to people, but only if they feel comfortable coming to church. And if they're protesters outside, they may or may not feel comfortable coming to church. And
well, the only person I'm worried about y'all speaking to right now is India.
Well, I know, but if she doesn't come to church, I'm not going to be able to speak to her. So
I bet she'll hear about it, though.
One of the things that is a spiritual principle for us, and I'll get back to the progress, not perfection, is we believe everybody deserves a Sabbath, including those we disagree with.
Okay.
So creating space for people to be in Sabbath space, to rest and renew inwardly, and then return into the public life. And there where public life is, and we do have debates, and we have discussions, we have forums here, but there is a sense of the service being...
Homeless people do not have a safe space. They have no home to go to any day of the week. And until they have homes, India Kincannon should not have a safe space either. That is my opinion.
Well, here's what I'll say with the progress and not perfection. That comes from Alcoholics Anonymous. It comes from Narcotics Anonymous. It comes from recovery movement.
Yes, faith-based recovery movements that are not that much more effective than secular methods, and quitting cold turkey, man. Those are not good things to quote.
Well, yeah, but actually I think that one carries over into the rational recovery and other
forms of recovery. I guess it does. So you're right about that.
There are multiple forms of recovery, and that seems to be a theme in all of them. So homelessness is many different problems. It's mental health, it's addiction, it's not a living wage. So this congregation's been very active in supporting the living wage movement, very active in supporting good resources.
All that's true, but over and over again here in Knoxville, it's lack of affordable housing. That's the number one cause. Every year is lack of affordable housing. And our city government is subsidizing a baseball stadium and luxury apartments and luxury student housing and all kinds of luxury stuff. And every once in a while, we put 4 or 5 workforce units in these developments that we're subsidizing. That's disgusting to me. Our tax dollars should only be subsidizing the affordable housing that our city desperately needs. Every day on my social media, I see at least 1 or 2 people in Knoxville saying they can't afford their rent and they're looking for a place. Every day.
I support your activism, and I support your speaking out, and I support your participating. And we just have a disagreement about sacred space and what that means.
Usually the people you're protesting against, they're a little uncomfortable when you protest them.
Well, you know, I have disagreements with lots of houses of faith about lots of different things, but I've never protested outside of a Catholic church or another faith position. You know, I mean, there are lots of faiths that have positions I disagree with, and I just respect people's religious space.
Well, here the difference is we agree with your principles. We agree with all your principles, and we want you to stand up for them. That's the difference.
Well, what I'm saying is we encourage people to talk directly to their elected officials.
I do that. We all do that.
That's right.
I think everybody here has spoken at city council directly to the mayor.
So I assume everyone is, and I encourage them to do it. And so when you're asking us to do it, I assume we're already doing what you're asking us to do. Does that make sense to you?
I hear you. I hear you. I can't make that assumption.
Do come up and have coffee, and it is Make a Friend Sunday. I will say, though, just in my experience, like I've been in meetings where, you know, state representative was a woman and everybody who was gathered was a man, and she couldn't get a word in edgewise because men tend to overtalk women. So I'm a minister, not a mansplainer. And I've got SEMA in my congregation, and I've got India in my congregation, and I've got and I've been in rooms where they disagreed in front of each other.
Oh yeah.
So that's my life, and
well, I really appreciate you coming out here and talking to us.
Say hello.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
Did I do okay? Okay.